Hey Bearcat fans, I'm joined here with Brevin Cassella, Miller Auto Team Athlete of the Week. Brevin, you finished third in the EIWA Championships this weekend to clinch your third Nationals appearance in a row. How does it feel to qualify again?
It feels pretty good. I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of like a stepping stone, I would say. Like, that's not really the end goal, but it's nice to get those little accomplishments here and there. The end goal will be next week at the National Championships, get up on the podium there. So.
Yeah, and I know it's a little different wrestling at Nationals, as the EIWA is kind of the guys you've seen all year in your conference. How do you kind of plan to be ready for these different matchups with new guys?
I honestly think it's just a little bit less pressure on me, just because I really just kind of get to let it fly. Like, a lot of times you see we wrestle guys so much, so like they know like what I like to do, I know what they like to do, so it's a little tighter. Whereas you go to Nationals and guys will like look at you and like watch what you're doing, but like you kind of just get the opportunity just to really like let everything go and just compete.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they don't know your moves as much, right?
Yeah.
And at Nationals, do you kind of have a goal in mind of where you want to end up?
I mean, the goal is always to be a national champ and an All-American. So I would say that's been my goal for the last 3 seasons, and I think this year I have a really good chance of getting there.
Yeah, and over the last 3 seasons, you've only improved. Mm-hmm. Each year getting better, each year placing higher. How have you continued to improve, as an athlete these past years?
I think it's really just, buying into the whole process we've started here at Binghamton. It's just, I think we've really built a winning culture, and a lot of people don't really think of Binghamton as like a top like wrestling school. Like, obviously you have like, your Big 10 schools, your Big 12, ACC, all those guys. But I think we've really started to build like a winning culture here, and that is from all the way from our coaching staff to the guys on the team, guys we're bringing in as freshmen. So I think everyone just as a whole is really buying in. So I think that's what's really been helpful.
Yeah, and like you said, it's not only you keep improving, but the team keeps improving. Yeah. Can you kind of talk about the leaders on the team and what you guys are able to do to push each other forward?
Yeah, I think coming in, as a freshman, I had a lot of guys I looked up to, like Louis. He's one of those older guys. I was able to like learn from and look up to. Jake, Corey, those guys. And I think it's just learning from them, and then I think guys my age, me, Micah, a little guys, Dimitri's, played into that role a little bit. Ivan, we've been able to kind of just, I think, set an example for some of the younger guys on the team, and I think that's just how that cycle like keeps going.
Yeah, and you talk about the cycle and rooting for each other. How is it rooting for your teammates when it's an individual sport but also a team sport?
It's great because it is a team sport, but it's really great seeing those guys achieve their individual goals. Like, those guys are my family. Like, I've grown the past 4 years with those guys. I live with those guys. We do everything together. So it's, it means a lot for me to see them achieve their individual goals as long as team goals too. So
yeah, and going back to you as an individual, do you change your wrestling style coming up into Nationals, or do you kind of just stick to what you've done that's got you here?
I think that a lot of guys can get caught up in the moment and think that they need to do all these things and change their wrestling style, but at the end of the day, you got there for a reason, and you're good at certain things. So I think I know what I'm good at, and I know I can beat people in a lot of positions that I'm good at. So I think I know the best game plan for me is just stick with what I've been doing and just wrestle hard and just let it fly.
Yeah. And do you have a favorite moment that you've had on the wrestling team? At Binghamton.
A couple big wins we've had. We had one over Navy this year. I didn't even win in my match, but it just like the team atmosphere. Corey comes up with a big win at the end, and the whole crowd's going crazy. Everyone's going. The team is crazy. I think those duels are just some of like my favorites. We've had a couple of them in the past. A couple big wins over Columbia. Just like big team performances, I would say, like are probably my favorite memories from the team.
Yeah, and I remember that Navy win. Just feels like electric in the building.
Yeah.
Everyone's really buying into the program as a whole. And after big wins like this, Nationals clinch 3rd year in a row. Do you have anyone you want to shout out? Any role models that's helped you get here?
I would say it's just my support staff, my family, They've always been there for me, you know, traveling. They'll be there this weekend. Friends, everyone close to me, my coaches, teammates, all those people I've just kind of been able to, you know, have my back throughout everything. And I think that that's really helped me get to where I am today.
Brevin, thank you again for joining me. Brevin competes again at the NCAA National Wrestling Championship, March 21st to the 23rd in Kansas City. For the latest on Binghamton Athletics, visit BUBearcats.com and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and X.